My name is Lexi Major, and this is my Cultural Heritage Project. So, the goal of this project is to tell you how hardworking, determined, and family-oriented my family is. These are the Viekes. This is my grandma's father's side of the family. So Grandpa John Vieke, he married Grandma Laura, and unfortunately at the age of 39, he passed away. This led for Grandma Laura to have to take care of her only child. She had to learn how to work while raising a child, had to learn how to drive again because she never drove when he was alive. So she had to raise her only child, which is my grandfather, Grandpa Pinky. He actually ended up creating a farm, and that was a really big deal because it's still within my family today. Okay, so these are the Carys. This is my grandma's mother's side of the family. Grandpa John Cary, he was a mechanic all his life until he one day passed away, unfortunately, at the age of 39. He was married to my Grandma Cary, and she had to raise her 5 children on her own for the rest of her life because she didn't ever marry again. She had to learn how to work while raising 5 children, and she never actually got her license, so she always walked to work or rode the bus because none of her children were old enough to drive her, so that was a big deal. They then had my Grandma Pinky, when they had my Grandma Pinky, she was the oldest in her family. So she had to go live with another family because this was important so that she could raise the other people's children so that she didn't have to give her mother another mouth to feed. She stayed with these individuals so that she could continue to work for them. She didn't make any money. She simply worked for room and board, and that was a big deal because that left my great-grandma with only 4 mouths to feed instead of 5. And these are Masons. This is my Grandma Hawa, my great-great-grandma Hawa. She was a full-blooded Indian. We're not really sure when she came yet, or anything like that, but that was a big deal because she had my great-grandpa Bus and my great-grandma Pearl. I never got to meet them, but I've heard a lot of amazing stories that my grandfather has told because of different things. But they were a big influential part of his life. So these are some of the major health concerns that have come in my family. Many heart conditions have come. My Grandpa Cary actually died of a heart attack at the age of 40, which is crazy. My Grandma Pinky died of a heart attack at the age of 62. My Grandpa Pinky, he didn't die from a heart attack, but he did have one at the age of 80, and he had to get a pacemaker. He also died. His death was because of a complication from his pacemaker, which was obviously very serious. And my grandma, at the age of 52, had open heart surgery, which is very scary. Because of all these heart problems, a lot of our family members have been known to have high blood pressure and cholesterol, which is can be very scary if not taken seriously. My grandpa, he actually died because of gallbladder problems that blocked his small intestine that caused pancreatitis and congestive heart failure. Gallbladder problems have been linked to hereditary in my family. My sister and my cousin have both had issues with their gallbladders and have since had to have them removed. Treatment and formal laws. My great-grandma Hawa, she was poorly viewed because of the color of her skin. So that was that side of the family. The other side, there were no issues. They were a very political family. They kind of did what everybody else did. They just went along with everything. There were no formal laws that necessarily affected my family, either side, which is a good thing, I guess. Holidays are very, very important to my family. We all celebrate Christmas and Easter and birthdays, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. These holidays, we all get together as a family. We always have a big meal, cake, dessert, anything and everything. Lots of presents under the tree. We definitely make these holidays very important to us. Some of the traditions we have. One is the 12 days of Christmas. This in my family, my grandma, Nan, she will buy each individual child, grandchild, great-grandchild now, each 12 gifts, and the 12 days leading up to Christmas, everybody gets to open one. They're usually little small things, maybe like candy or simple things like pins and things like that, but they're something that's very important to us because we have always had this, and many of us have kept this tradition going with their own children. Tree decorating, we always, after the day after Christmas, or the day after Thanksgiving, all meet up in my grandma's house, and we all decorate her tree. The youngest grandchild always puts the star on the tree. It's just something we've always done. Every grandchild has been baptized at birth. We have all been baptized Catholic, which is very important to my family. We have all practiced that for very long times. Something that we've always done is on Thanksgiving we all have a big meal. We have ham and turkey and all of the sides that go with it, and it's very important. For Christmas, actually, we don't do that. We have soups, and that's something we've done for as long as I can remember. It's just something I think that we've done to help relieve some of the stress on my grandma, because obviously holidays were a big stressful time for her at our house, so it's very important. Some of the foods that my family has been doing for as long as I can remember are tenderloins. My grandma learned how to make these from a guy named Wally Young. She found these at a softball, or she would always call ahead at a softball tournament and tell them to go ahead and start up the fryer because they would be gumming, and he would always have them made tenderloins. Conies are also very important because my grandma used to work at Frost Top, and for as long as I can remember, everybody has been calling my grandma and telling my grandma, you have to make coney sauce, you have to make coney sauce, because they love her coney sauce so much. My grandma also learned how to make noodles from her great-grandmother. They would make homemade in the kitchen, roll them all out, and make some noodles, which is awesome because we have gotten to experience that ourselves. In conclusion, I hope you understand how hardworking, family-oriented, and determined my family is. Every person in my family has done what they have to do. They have always stepped up to the plate to make sure that everyone is taken care of, and even if it wasn't what they necessarily wanted to do, they always did it so that everybody was taken care of. Thank you.